Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. You ever been in a relationship with a guy and he ended the relationship, but he said he wanted to be friends? And you tried to be friends, but the more that you were friends with him, it felt like you were pouring salt in your wounds and that it just kept burning, it just kept hurting, and you were never able to heal until ultimately you got out of that relationship. Well, if so, welcome to the club. It happens to all of us. There's a time back in the early and mid to late 80s where it was my first love. We were together for 3 years and we loved each other. We talked about the future. And then ultimately she was going off to school and realized that she wanted to, kind of experience the world. And I was devastated, but we cared so much and we loved each other so much that we tried to be friends. But every time I spoke to her, it was like this knife was being put in my heart and twisted. Until ultimately I realized, you know what? I can't go on by talking to you. I need to get away. And ultimately I got away. And as time went on, I healed it. And then, we were able to come across each other and be friends, basically. So I'm not saying that you can't be friends, but to do it in the beginning when you have that emotional tug, you still have those strong feelings, you still have that hope that things will change, is very, very difficult. So I believe when a relationship ends, there are usually two people. There's the dumper and the dumpee. So the dumper is the one who says, you know what? I see that I need to move on. I don't want to be with you anymore. And then the dumpee is the one who really doesn't have to say it. They want the relationship to go on. They want to make it work. They still have hopes and dreams for the future. So if you're the dumper, it's easy to be friends because you still don't have those feelings. You're emotionally willing. You've already moved on emotionally. But if you're the dumpee, emotionally, you haven't healed yet. You haven't gotten closure. See, when you're the dumpee, you have to go through, it's almost like the loss of a loved one. It is the loss of a loved one, but like the death of a loved one, where emotionally, it's not what you want. So you've got to go through different stages of healing. There's some denial, there's some anger, there's some sadness, there's some depression. And ultimately you get to a point, if you've done your work, to where you start healing and you get to a point of acceptance. They call that closure. Well, you can't be friends with someone that you have strong emotional feelings if you've never gotten that closure. And the problem with being friends with your ex is it's impossible to get that closure while you're still involved with them, while you're still seeing them, while you still want to kiss them, while you still want to, have sex with them. Okay, it's just very, very, very difficult. So I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just very difficult. It takes someone who's really emotionally strong, emotionally healthy, who's able to see and really get to that acceptance place really quickly. The problem for us humans is we have this wonderful way of bullshitting ourselves. Oh no, I can be friends with you. I can handle it. And then we get involved and we see that person and we see them with someone else. And we start getting jealous because we want them to be with us. And then ultimately we realize, you know what? I can't handle it. Now I've got to move on. Now I've got to move on. Excuse me there. So, what I say is you got to be really, really, really honest with yourself. Really take a good look in the mirror, take some mirror time and say, can I go from being intimate, from wanting to kiss this person, to wanting to cuddle with this person, to now just being friends, going out to the movies and not holding their hand, going out to dinner and not kissing them, going out to dinner and not envisioning my life with them. If you can do that, then you're able to be friends. But if you're not, you've got to be really honest with yourself and you've got to be really honest with them, because it doesn't matter what they want. What matters is what you need, what's important to you, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Is you've got to be whole, you've got to be complete, you've got to have closure for that past before you can shut the door on romance and open the door to being friends. And I always say, whenever I'm working with clients, let's say you're going to be friends. And so one day he meets a girl or one day you meet a guy. Are you going to hang out together? Are you going to, double date? Are you going to, share the holidays together? What happens then? And most people admittedly say, you know what? No, we can't be friends. It'll be very difficult. It wouldn't be fair to the person that I'm with. So my philosophy has always been, and I use it in my own life, is that, when I end a relationship, close that door, wish the person all the best, but then move on. And if I was the one who was being dumped, I was the dumpee, then I say, you know what? I've got to get you out of my life so I can heal, so I can move on. That's what healthy people do, and that's what will help you move on and create less stress and turmoil in your life. So I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried to be friends with your ex? Are you friends with an ex? If so, were you able to do it right from the beginning, or did some time have to go on? As always, put your comments, your feedback, and your questions below. It's always an honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.